a Windows 7 Forums video production. Visit us at windows7forums.com.
Hello everyone, this is Mike from windows7forums.com, and you're looking at 7 Crucial 128GB SATA-II 0.5 solid-state hard drives. These hard drives have all failed. They have been used in a RAID array for around 2.5 years, and after that they were used for testing purposes to see if there was something wrong with the controller that they were associated with. These have been on for 18,900 power-on hours, which equals 2 years, 1 month, and 27 days of constant operation. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you how these drives work. I want to give a special thanks to Crucial Sales and Support Representative Stephen Rushton for RMAing these devices without any questions asked. Well, there were some questions asked, but he also explained sort of how the industry works in regards to solid-state hard drives and their return. So if you're planning on purchasing a solid-state hard drive soon or planning to return one, this is a video you may want to watch. First, I'm going to talk about what these drives were replaced with and how these drives performed. They performed adequately and up to the system standards that they were supposed to up until the time of their failure. They began to fail around the summer of 2011, and that was around the time that they could no longer maintain a RAID array. After that, they continued to function, but very slowly, with some drives disappearing completely and then returning to the controller, turning on and off on their own, sort of, without much reason for that happening. And it was then determined there was nothing wrong with the controller, there was nothing wrong with the cables. A process of elimination took place on my part in diagnostic testing, and it was determined that all of these drives, in fact, had failed at the same time. Now, out of these 7 drives, there is one that doesn't even post at all. I'm going to show you how I diagnose drives, and this is an easy dock, and this is connected through eSATA or eSerial ATA, and what we can do is simply plug one of those into the eSATA port and test. But as a replacement, we have the Samsung 830 series SATA-III hard drive, 6 gigabits per second, 512 gigabytes of space. This is $829.99 retail. This was purchased at Micro Center, and we're going to look at that. And this is what we're using now to make this video. We also have a Crucial C300 drive that was never used that's still working pretty great but has very low write speeds. And now to get down to the bones of the operation, we really want to look at the size comparison of these drives. Here's the 128 Crucial with a 5-year manufacturer warranty. And you'll see some other devices here. This is a big old 3.5-inch Seagate Barracuda 1.5 terabyte hard drive. These are still in use all over the world. They are gigantic compared to these other laptop-sized drives. And remember, there are even smaller drives that are available for laptop and miniature devices. And of course, this is an enclosure, a Roswell enclosure, that contains a 750 gigabyte laptop conventional hard drive. Again, a smaller 2.5-inch drive. And of course, here you have a 64 gigabyte USB flash drive. This at the time was very expensive. They're now cheap, but you look at the size comparison and it's quite unbelievable. And of course, here's a cell phone, and this is a modern smartphone from Samsung, and you can see the size difference. Now, this is an enclosure that is again a 3.5-inch 1.5 terabyte, and you can see the difference in size. I mean, that thing's just massive. It's got a built-in fan. I mean, it's just gigantic, a gigantagon in size compared to these Crucial solid-state drives. And this really shows how over time this miniaturization has occurred.
This will be a part-for-part exchange. It looks like we do have some of these M225 still in stock, the 128 gigabytes. The ones that we do have in stock, however, they are technically considered refurbished.
Okay.
Now, let me elaborate on that a little bit before any conclusions are jumped to. Basically, it's impossible to refurbish a solid-state drive. Obviously, right. There's extremely high technology in it, you know what I mean? And it'd be more worth it to just build a new one.
Right.
So basically, the solid-state drives that are in our, per se, refurbished department are things that have been bought and returned and thoroughly and rigorously tested to prove they still work. And are fully functioning. So the parts that are in this quote refurbished department are not technically refurbished. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. So we can go ahead and send you a replacement drive from that department per drive that you're sending back. Are you planning on returning all 7 of those drives?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't want to, but it's the situation is like they're so slow that they're not.
Oh no, I
really
totally
working,
understand.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, I totally understand. I've been working with computers my whole life, and I understand where you're coming from. That would be really frustrating.
Stephen over there at Crucial had no problem returning over $2,000 worth of hardware. And I'd like to explain to you a little bit of how I found that this problem was taking place and how you may be able to diagnose hard drives in the future yourself. First of all, it's important to note that most hard drives developed after 2009 now use NAND flash memory. This is the same basic type of memory that is found in USB flash drives. The evolution of that memory took place to such a degree that they were able to incorporate the same type of technology into solid-state drives as early as 2009 and experimentally probably earlier. However, no one actually knew what the write endurance would be for these drives. It was sort of something that was tested, and there were hypothetical numbers that were coming out from all sorts of manufacturers. More specifically, Samsung led the charge in a lot of the initial testing with the SLC NAND and MLC NAND flash rates. When we look at capacity, we see that the NAND flash chip is capable of storing 1 gigabyte of flash data using multi-level cell technology. First of all, we're going to go over to a program called SATA-64, and you've probably seen me use this many times before. It's a great program for diagnostic testing. And let's see here. We have one drive connected in, and this is going to be, we have our C300 drive, and you can see that not much has gone on here as far as data. But when we go to the Crucial drive, we can see a lot of information. This is one of the ones that's working a bit better, but just to show you what happens when we go ahead and transfer files. Now, we've had like over 2 million read and write commands. In one case, under the write commands, we'd have 4 million of them. On other drives, for the CT128M225 series of SATA-II SSDs, we've had like 8 billion read and write sectors. But let's go ahead and show you why this is not working exactly the way it should. So if testing these drives has shown us anything, it's shown us that these tests can be long and arduous processes. I mean, right here, we're seeing for this drive something like 9, let's see, that is 9 billion read sectors, 9.2 billion read sectors, 9.2 write sectors. We also have something like 10 million 106 million read commands and 186 million write commands. So it's a bit crazy here with the smart diagnostics. One way we do test these drives is to do read tests, and the linear read testing and random read testing is showing 150.4 megabytes per second. How accurate is that, and is that the right read speed for this type of drive? No, it is not. The manufacturer specification for this drive can easily be found when we look up some old information about these drives. And we go to specifications here. This is benchmarkreviews.com. Okay, and the read is supposed to be like 250 megabytes per second. The write is 190 megabytes per second. So you see we have 100 megabyte per second loss when this should be 250, instead it's 150. And it gets worse with the other drives. Some of the other drives are like 40 megabytes per second with the linear read and random read. This one is a bit consistent in its failure and its degradation. Now, we have some programs here that I'm going to show you as well. And these are better with disk benchmarking, and they didn't exist a couple of years ago, but they do now. And these programs are Crystal Disk Mark. Now, this will help you very much with the benchmarking of disks. So let's try. We know this is drive D. This is the Crucial drive. Let's do a test. And we'll start it off 100 megabytes. And we'll run the test twice in one pass. And we'll go ahead and do that. Now, this will do sequential, 512K random, 4 kilobytes random with a queue depth of 1, and 4 kilobytes random with a queue depth of 32. So we're going to do all here, and we're going to see what happens with this Crucial drive, and we'll get a good indicator of how this drive is performing. And we know we should be getting around 250 megabytes per second read, and we're not. Of course, we're getting, you'll see with the read, 154.7 megabytes per second. And with the write, it's going to be even worse. In fact, I imagine it may be much worse in this case. Let's see here. Yeah, the write specification for this drive, and mind you, this is connected in as a logical drive. It's not even, a primary disk drive. There's no operating system on here. The write should be about 190 megabytes per second. Of course, there's going to be some degradation, but not at the level we're seeing here, where we have this really bad read, and this really, you're going to see it slow down big time here with the write. Now, this program is free. It's called Crystal Disk Mark, and you don't want to forget this program because it's really good in how it diagnoses these hard drives, etc. So we're going ahead here, and we see, wow, look at this slowdown here. This is where we're getting RAID failures, and, this isn't, there are literally conventional old Seagate Barracuda 1.5 terabyte drives that have a better output than this does with this. So this is random write, and it is terrible. Random read and random write, 21.9 megabytes per second, 12.24 megabytes per second. And this is this gentleman, Steven from Crucial, he knew exactly what I was talking about when I fed him this information. It's just the overall degradation of the NAND chip and the what are basically called flash, NAND flash. But you have to understand that these use a floating gate types of storage, and the flash file system is something that is effectively new, and it's using modules. Okay, so we see that we're getting a lot better performance with these drives, but back when these were made, we're talking 2009, 2008, I don't think they anticipated this kind of problem. So let's go ahead and take a look at Crystal Disk Mark. This is what this is. It's giving us some accurate numbers here. This is the reason why we're having problems. But let's also plug in another one, and you're going to see even worse performance. Okay, ladies and gents, so we've got even another one plugged in here. Let's refresh. And yeah, they all sort of look the same, but refresh here. Yeah, we have another one here. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to our Crystal Disk Mark. Let's reload it. And let's try that again. And let's do one pass this time to make it a little bit quicker, if that's even possible. And we'll go ahead and do these tests again, and you're going to see a similar sort of result. And you'll see differential response. Remember, we should be getting some decent reads and writes, but in fact, this is not often the case, especially with the writes. The sequential, not so bad on most of them, but the random is just ludicrously terrible. Once we get to 90 megabytes per second, it's important to note that that is actually 7,200 RPM speed traditionally for writing. So if this gets below 90 megabytes per second write, traditionally that's, that's slower than a conventional hard drive with moving parts. And here again, we have 20, which is absolutely terrible. 9. Absolutely horrible. 9. And let's see what we'll get here. 23. And we're going to get something horrible here. Undoubtedly. 10. Yeah. Right, so these should be performing much better than they currently are, and they're not, I must tell you, they are not in any way consistent. It looks consistent with these benchmarks, but when these are in a RAID or when they're running as the main operating system, forget about it. Now let's go ahead one more time, and what we're going to want to do here is connect in one more, and let's give it a shot. You're going to see another one here. We're going to do another benchmark very quickly, again with Crystal Disk Mark. This is a great application here. I'm going to reload the application, and we'll run her again. Let's do one pass this time, and let's just go ahead and let's just skip ahead at this point in time and see what we come up with here. Okay, we have a sequential read. What are we going to get with this Crucial drive? We're going to get 155 megabytes per second. Not exactly too great. We'll see a conventional drive do around that. Write speed, if it's near 90 megabytes per second, it's almost as bad as a conventional drive. And we're seeing this random read right here going on right now. And what's going on with the random read here is, 134, and random write, let's see it. It's going to be about, 106. And of course, we're doing again, additional random read, 4 kilobyte. And this is bad stuff when you look at it, because this is where it's really slowing down and turning into crap, to be honest with you. Of course, 4 times 20, you'd want to do it that way with the kilobytes, but no. I mean, this is not acceptable for a solid-state drive, and you'll see why when we jump ahead and go into actually benchmarking very quickly. A conventional drive. We're going to benchmark an old Seagate Barracuda drive. That drive itself is Seagate 1500 gigabytes, Barracuda 7200 RPM, old firmware, old device. It cannot experience shocks in excess of 350 Gs, and so we're going to try that out right now, and we're going to see how that compares. But first, let's just take a look real quick, because we have these drives, as you see, they're installed here, and you see the Crucial F here, and we'll do a quick refresh here again. And you got to see where we're having this problem. I mean, billions and billions of activity here. This can't be used on a RAID, as I always mention, etc. And let's try one more time. Now, we just skipped ahead there, but to show you the big difference, let's go ahead and take our Samsung SSD 830 and let's benchmark that bad boy. And you're going to see a big difference here as far as what these are capable of. These are newer drives. They haven't been damaged. But let's also look here and see when we plug in. Guess what we're going to plug in here, ladies and gentlemen? Hot swappable. This is a Seagate Barracuda drive, as I mentioned before, 1.5 terabytes. This is an old school product. Still should be functioning at full capacity. And you'll see that the benchmarks we get here for read and write, sequential read and write, are not that bad. You're going to see it right here. And check this out, because this drive is functioning better than our Crucial solid-state drives, the 128 gigabyte ones, the SATA-II ones. This is also a SATA-II device. It is years old, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is from 2009 or something. You know, it's ancient by today's standards. And we're getting good reads. We're getting good writes. Of course, we start to see some degradation here, but we don't get the level. I mean, the level that the Crucial solid-state drives are acting at should be much higher than this, extraordinarily better than this. And so it's not a controller problem that's been routed out. It's not a cabling problem that's been routed out. It's not a device platform problem. It could be the controller that's on the SSD itself. You know, but we're seeing this is a standard, this is the standard sort of data you should get from a conventional hard drive. And when you compare that with the solid state drive that's been in constant use for 3 years, it's almost the same. And of course, I have to reiterate to you that I have one solid state drive from that same Crucial make and model that's not functioning at all. It won't even post. And this could definitely, you could take 2 or 3 of these, 4 of these, put them in a RAID array. If you had 5 of them, you could put them in a nice RAID and protect your data that way. And let's do one and let's show you the real difference. Okay, let's take a C300. Let's take a C300 and do a test on that. This is the C300 SSD. Now, this is what you should get from a good SSD. It's on a SATA-III controller. It's different from SATA-II, but this is technically what you should get, okay? 358.9 megabytes per second. And on the right, you're going to get a great write. It's going to be like 144 megabytes per second, I believe. It should be around that range. And we should see it right here. Now it's 126, so we have a little bit you know, of degradation there, but this is why people buy SSDs, for the performance aspect of it. And if we cut ahead, we'll just see these numbers, and you know, it's unbelievable what we're looking at here. This is what we should expect from a solid state drive. Now, I've had this C300 drive for as long as I've had the other Crucial drives, and that's about 2 or 3 years. And I have never used this one. And so you're seeing a big difference here. The write speed, not so good. It was never advertised to be that good. It was always advertised to be something like 144 megabytes per second with the Crucial C300. But it performs and behaves amicably compared to the SATA-II Crucial drives that I'm returning under RMA. Hopefully I'll get some refurbs that are good, and we'll go back to some of what Steven had to say. And finally, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to benchmark the SSD 830 series Samsung. This should give us a sequential megabyte per second of 520. It should give us random sequential max write of 400 megabytes per second. Let's see what we get here, because we're not going to get what we should. And why this is the case, uncertain. But remember, this is the operating system hard drive. But look, we're getting sequential read of 400 megabytes per second, and we're getting half of what we should for the write. So something is up with this one. And the Samsung Drive 830 series for PC, SATA-III, 6 gigabits per second. For some reason, not performing up to spec as we would hope. And this is consistent when we continue to test it. We continue to get the same result. Let's hear more about this Crucial drives. They seem to have been number one at one point. And it's important to note that all of these drive manufacturers seem to have lowered their warranty from 5 years down to 3 or 2. Now, you can say that that's because the economy is bad or what have you, but when all of the solid-state drive manufacturers lower that warranty from 5 years down to 3 or 2, that should raise a red flag in any IT professional's field of vision here, because there's something going on where, although they're functioning well, how come you don't want to give us that 5-year warranty? You only want to give us 3 years or 2 years. I think it has a lot to do with how these drives do wear out and they do run out, and they're almost guaranteed to do so, whereas a conventional drive, perhaps not so much. Let's hear more what Stephen from Crucial had to say to me, and follow up with that and see why we can determine why these are dying. Thank you for the full explanation of exactly how this works. Because I mean, I've done RMAs before, but I've never been given sort of the full detail of exactly how the process is.
No problem. I'm absolutely more than willing to stay here and help you out as much as I can. I don't want to leave you in the dark. I want to make sure you're taken care of right.
Right. Here's a question. Once and this is the last question. Once I get these RMA drives back, I'll get these refurbished drives back, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know if the warranty coverage still extends to those drives until the warranty coverage ends, or is that it, for the warranty coverage, or is the warranty coverage now extended for an additional amount of time, or what's the deal with that?
Okay, so if you buy the drive, say it's got, pretty sure these M225s have a 5-year warranty on them. You guys started only giving out 3 years, unfortunately, but now the ones that I do have, fortunately, have 5-year warranties on them. That's why I'm asking, because sweet.
2 more years,
So basically, that 5-year warranty on your drive is valid from the day you bought it, and that includes carrying over onto the replacements. So say you return the drive and it's still on that 5-year warranty, your 5-year warranty is going to continue onto the drive that you get back from the day that you purchased the original drive.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll have whatever time is remaining on the warranty. Gotcha.
Right. Right.
Will I, how do I put this? Will I require, when I get all the materials from you in the cross ship, do you require proof of purchase for these drives?
No.
Okay, good. Because otherwise I'd have to go through Newegg and try to, I have 1,000 orders in there and I have to try to find the exact information.
The invoice. Cool. Yeah, the one invoice to rule them all.
Yeah, that one was a crazy move. Okay. So let's go ahead then and do this. Just let me know what I need to do next.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through setting up the process for you.
Okay.
It's just going to take me a moment. Not too extensive, but it's a big one.
Okay.
Let's see. So there's going to be a third party. And I'm just looking here. To confirm, 7 of those drives in question, correct?
Hold on, let me just do a count. Yeah, 7 drives. Sorry, I was looking at the serial numbers that I have, and I just remembered, there's one that I don't need. Yeah, okay, it's 7. Yeah, 7.
Okay, perfect.
In this case, 7 is not a lucky number for some reason.
hey, you know, it happens to the best of them. You know, it's really not too much to worry about. We're going to make sure that you get taken care of.
Right. I just found it unusual that they all encounter this problem relatively at the same time. But, you know, there is a C300, the SATA-III drive that I have that has no problems at all. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of
it is an odd coincidence. I concur.
A weird yeah. I mean, it's a weird situation. I'm wondering if maybe there is a problem. Well, you guys would have people calling all over the place, I guess. I don't know what the status is, but you know.
I don't hear a lot about the M225s, actually. They've apparently done really well, because I really don't hear a lot at all about them.
Yeah. Oh well. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because the way I had been using them constantly, never powering down my system. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alrighty. So I'm at the point where we can put in some credit card information. What type of card are we working with today?
Yeah.
Got a little lost in translation there.
No problem.
It's all good. No worries.
Yeah. No, I was just envisioning this, you know, when you said that, I was like, I was just envisioning like some guy who just gets like 7 additional drives and nothing is wrong with the first 7 and just keeps all of them. It's just like a crazy idea of that even happening. You know, it's like, my God, if there's somebody out there that actually does that, there's something mentally wrong with them. But anyway.
I do have friends that actually collect dead hard drives. It's kind of crazy. Well, you know, I was really, really curious because obviously, you know, I've been working with computers for a long time. So obviously I'm curious, why are you keeping all these hard drives? They're dead, right?
Right. Well, are you talking about me specifically or your friend?
My friend, not you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, he harvests the gold out of them.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's what he does? Literally?
Yeah. Yeah. He actually opens them up, takes the gold products out, sells the gold.
Wow. That's incredible. How does he?
He ends up getting more money than he would for the dead drive.
Is there a process of smelting the gold down that he knows about that like other people aren't aware of or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, cause I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. Because I mean, I have two old 256 gigabyte drives. Maybe I could smelt them down. They're like conventional ones, you know.
Yeah, I just bumped into a drive yesterday. I work on laptops just kind of in my off time at home, and I ran into a hard drive, and I'm like, hey, this doesn't work. I wonder what I could do with it.
Right. Would he be, well, I can't talk to you over the phone about this. I was thinking, like, would he be willing to buy my old conventional broken drives and to smelt down the gold? Like, how much would it go for? But never mind. I'm not gonna answer that. Yeah.
I would love to answer that question for you. Unfortunately, that's a conflicting interest.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, if you see any drives on, on eBay, like for like 1 cent as the starting bid, that would probably be. Yeah, I did see stuff on eBay,
like somebody selling a lot of dead drives, like 15, 20 in one sale, and it was going for like $30. So like 2 cents a drive.
Right. At that point, it's like weird because it's like, I mean, they must be making the buyer pay for shipping under those circumstances, because there's no way that it's even like feasible for me to do that.
Yeah, I usually, like, when I fix a computer, if it's a hard drive issue, I'll put a new hard drive in there that I've got laying around, one that I've recently reformatted, and I'll push it for 10 cents on the gig.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm not down to rip people off. You know, a 230 gig drive, I'm not gonna make them pay $1 a gigabyte, 50 cents a gigabyte.
Yeah.
$23. That's way more logical.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, so I've got this email set up for you. It'll confirm all the information you'll need for sending your parts back to us. So basically, your RMA number and your replacement order number are going to be in the subject line of the email, and your RMA number will also be in the body of the email. You'll want that RMA number on the outside of your package so that our receiving department can see it. And you'll want to make sure to send the package back within 10 business days. Also, if possible, go ahead and print off a copy of the email that I'm going to send to your Gmail and put it inside the package before you send it out so as to provide another reference point for a receiving department.
I gotcha. Okay, so how long would you say it will take for you to send me out this email today? If only just so I feel like safe that I got this email and there's not, you know, I mean, I know you're sending it out, but just in case like it gets lost or something, your mail server fails, or is there a confirmation number to call you back or something?
Well, I tell you what, go ahead and log into your Gmail right now.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
I'll bet you
gotcha.
$5 it's there.
Yeah, you didn't even have to. I checked it before you betted me the money. All right, yeah, so I have it. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I'm logging notes into your account pertaining to the notes that I've taken on the call, so as to further assist if you need any other help in the future. If anything in this process is confusing, if you need any other questions answered or anything like that, please don't hesitate to contact us back. Our call system is on a round-robin assigning system, so you will most likely speak with a different representative, but any one of our reps is more than happy to help out at any given point in time.
Now, your name is Stephen Rustin, correct?
That's correct. Yep, the one at the bottom of that email.
Awesome. My name is Mike Farah. Let me ask you a question, and this is sort of off kilter, but I run a website, and the affiliation is sort of with Microsoft. I'm a Microsoft MVP myself, and I'm 7-time certified in information technology. Occasionally we do these video reviews on solid-state hard drives and things like that. In returning these drives, would you be willing to allow me to discuss the terms of this situation and how well it went and stuff like that, or even like name you by name and just say like, this guy was awesome, you know, he saved my hard drive. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, awesome, yeah. So if you, I mean, visit the website windows7forums.com in a month, like maybe you'll probably be mentioned on like some video or something about broken hard drives.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Go for it, Mike.
All right, thanks a lot.
Not a problem. All right. I'll tell you what, is there anything else I can help you with while we're on the line?
Nope, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for your help.
All right, right on. Thank you so much for calling Crucial, Michael. I hope you have a great day.
All right, take care, buddy. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Rustin showed the greatest possible professionalism, as well as the greatest possible assistance from someone you would expect from a worldwide manufacturer of hard drives and memory. Crucial is definitely my company of choice for all sorts of hard drive products. Thanks to Stephen Rustin, that faith and belief in Crucial as a company that I can use to store my data reliably has been restored, even with 7 of their drives failing practically concurrently. I can no longer use these drives in a RAID array. I can no longer depend on them when connecting them with SATA. I can no longer use them to store data or reliably use a virtual machine with them due to their slow failure rate. Ultimately, I have asked the question myself, not knowing too much about the solid-state technology that powers all sorts of devices like the iPhone, the iPad, and smartphones, even the new Xbox systems use solid-state drives. How long will these drives last? Ultimately, flash memory is a non-volatile computer storage chip. It can be electronically erased and reprogrammed. It was developed as electrically erasable, programmable, read-only memory, and it must be erased in fairly large blocks before these can be rewritten with new data. High-density NAND chips, the type that are found in Crucial hard drives and Samsung hard drives, must also be programmed and read in smaller blocks or pages, while the NRR type, which is found in USB flash drives, allows a single machine word or byte to be written or read independently. NAND is now primarily used in memory cards, USB flash drives, solid-state drives, and similar products. Generally speaking, hard drives fail. However, with conventional hard drives, you would know why that failure took place. You would know the source of that degradation. Sometimes it could be an electromagnetic interference. Other times it could be from simply the hard drive being kicked around a lot. And in many cases, it was simply because the platters on the drive had been rotating for too long. There was simply too much activity on that drive and it died. In the case of these complex devices known as solid-state drives, non-engineers, but IT professionals such as myself, are often left to wonder what is the cause of this malfunction. Stephen Rushton at Crucial tried his best to reassure me that my $2,000 purchase of equipment, which was used primarily for work, would be replaced with devices that were similarly capable of the utmost performance that was promised when I first bought these devices. While I created a video in 2011 praising the power of solid-state hard drives when they were connected together in a RAID array, I no longer have that faith in these devices. Time after time, I find that my woeful ignorance in the area of hard disk storage may not be something that is easily justifiable. Others in my field, including members of the Windows7Forums.com admin team, have looked at my solid-state drive purchases with a bit of disdain and a bit themselves of healthy skepticism. They continue to use, up to my knowledge, traditional hard drives without difficulty. In fact, had I bought 5 1.5 terabyte hard drives, I could run them in a RAID 10 or a RAID 0 without any difficulty, knowing that my data would be fairly secure. If one drive were to fail, I would not need to worry too much, as a simple backup using a Cronus TrueImage Home would allow me to restore that data. However, with a solid-state drive, when one fails, you are not necessarily aware that this failure will continue to take place. Flash memory stores information in an array of memory cells, and over time, these memory cells wear down. That seems to be the major problem. While this technology has evolved tremendously, I continue to determine through my benchmarks and through the testing that I have done that even a brand new solid-state drive does not meet the manufacturer's specifications that are advertised on the box of the drive retail, and when buying OEM drives, still does not match the manufacturer's specifications. This is especially true with the new Samsung drive I have purchased. I am using a Intel motherboard. It is actually Gigabyte, but it uses the Intel chipset for X58A. I run an Intel Core i7 CPU, 975 at 3.33 gigahertz. This CPU is one of the fastest in the world. It can be overclocked. And I cannot explain the trouble that I have found. With conventional drives, I would know when they were failing through smart sensoring. I would be able to back up my hardware quickly and replace it. But with solid-state drives, that failure seems to occur abruptly, and it seems to take place in the case of oftentimes missing files, slow performance, the failure of a RAID array, which seems rather random, etc. I know that my Gigabyte GA X58UD7 version 1 motherboard is still in great condition. I know that the 24 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM that I am using on my system have never had a failure. I know from the sensor modules throughout my computer that my hard drives, my CPU, and my motherboard, and even my graphics card, 6850 Radeon, is running at best possible speed with the best possible temperatures. I know that the only problem has been the purchase of these solid-state drives, which were purchased for reliability. Indeed, Windows7Forums.com and Windows8Forums.com use solid-state drives. Although these solid-state drives are industrial, they've been created by Intel, and they are designed to run out of the PCI slot of the machine. They're designed not to fail and to give early warning to the data center engineers when the drive will fail. In the event of a failure, the solid-state drive makes backups of all of our data to a conventional hard drive on the off chance that this does take place. But ultimately, any computer purchase is a ticking time bomb. Computers were designed to be modular, and because of that modular design, if something like a hard drive goes, you can rest assured that for 9 times out of 10, the rest of your hardware will continue to function normally. Unfortunately, it is difficult to diagnose why solid-state hard drives fail. For the most part, we know that the flash cells in these drives are what wear down. There have been efforts to improve the reliability of solid-state drives, but how far these efforts have gone are unknown. The biggest clue to me in dealing with solid-state drives is to see how the manufacturer's warranty of 5 years has now been lowered to 3 by nearly all solid-state hard drive manufacturers, including OCZ, Crucial, Runcore, and other manufacturers. A great example of a failing solid-state drive was an early one. It was a Runcore 64GB drive that I purchased for a Dell Mini 9. It was not capable of maintaining a storage level that was higher than the Samsung drive that was built in to that device by Dell. However, it was capable of improving the speed of the Dell Mini 9 exponentially. I went to turn on my Dell Mini 9 recently, having not powered it on for several years. The result was that it powered on briefly and then powered off. There was no need for me to do any extensive diagnostics or to look any further into the incident. It was easy for me to determine that the failure was related to the solid-state hard drive. While I would like to have unwavering faith in the fact that solid-state hard drives will last years and years and years, I have noticed performance degradation take place the longer I use them. In fact, I have thought to myself while making this video that while writing to the disk and reading from it so many times, I am in fact wasting the resources of my new 512GB Samsung hard drive. This hard drive will likely be returned to the store, retail, at Micro Center as soon as I receive my replacement drives from Crucial. Indeed, it was Micro Center at Yonkers, New York, that had difficulty selling me the device to begin with. After taxes, this device cost over $1,000. However, I was promised by a sales associate that I would receive $10 off for my purchase if I included a $200 store warranty with my purchase. I was told by the sales manager at the store that she could not give me $10 off of a $1,000 purchase. The reason I was told was not because the store was incurring financial difficulties. It was not because this promise was made illegitimately by a sales associate. The reason I could not get $10 off on a $1,000 sale of a solid-state hard drive was because she claimed that she would risk losing her job if she gave me $10 off on a $1,000 sale. I'd like you to consider what $10 is and compared to $1,000. $10 is 1% of $1,000. At Micro Center in Yonkers, New York, I met a store manager who did not know anything about warranties and a sales manager that was unwilling to give a customer 1% off on hardware. It is not a question of whether or not I return my Samsung hard drive. You have seen on this video that it does not function up to specifications. But you will also have not seen how I was treated when I went into Micro Center and bought this device. There is no question that this device will be returned due to my dissatisfaction with this hardware and, most importantly, with the sales associates at Micro Center in Yonkers, New York. I would like to say that this type of thing is a random occurrence, but it is not. When I went to buy this drive, I was told I could turn the 3-year manufacturer's warranty into a 6-year manufacturer's warranty. I was given this information by a sales associate. This sales associate lied to me in order to try to acquire additional commission on a warranty sale. In fact, the store warranty would have kicked in at the same time of the purchase, which is the exact same time that the manufacturer's warranty would have kicked in. I was informed of this only when I spoke to the sales manager, who treated me with disrespect and disdain, even while I maintained a healthy attitude and tried to be as reasonable as possible in making my purchase. In fact, my purchase is akin to a rental. I will never shop at Micro Center in Yonkers, New York again, and I will return this solid-state hard drive, this Samsung drive, to them because I am well within my rights to do so anywhere between 15 to 30 days. Hopefully, I will not incur a store restocking fee. I was told by one sales associate that restocking fee had ended, but I had heard recently that policy had not been discontinued. It seems that Micro Center does not know what they are doing. However, this is in sharp contrast to the support I received from Crucial, from Stephen Rushton, a man who simply answers the phone to process RMAs on solid-state hard drives. I do not know Stephen personally. I do not know how many RMAs he processes per day or for what models of solid-state hard drives he processes them for. What I can say is that he is an excellent gentleman, and he is the epitome of what a customer would want to deal with when 7 $199 hard drives fail. In fact, they may have been more than $199. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I had a lot of these hanging around when I was going to sell servers and products, workstations to companies. And what happened was I ended up with $2,000 of additional equipment when the economy did go bad. So I would like you to think about this. And if any of you know more about solid-state hard drives than I do, I imagine many of you do, I would like you to look into the reliability of these devices, because something is clearly wrong. The labeling on these devices does not match their performance. If I am running an X58 UD7 motherboard capable of SATA-III, and if I am running a quad-core Intel Core i7 Extreme Edition 975 processor clocked at 3.466 megahertz or 3 gigahertz clock speed with 24 gigabytes of RAM, and if I cannot meet the manufacturer's specification for that solid-state drive, something is wrong. There is some kind of false advertising taking place. I do not want to say that as an accusation, but it is a personal opinion. It is not a fact. But something is wrong with these drives. Although they will work for the first couple of years, if you use them in constant operation, you may find yourself in the position I am in, with 7 drives failing to meet manufacturer specifications all at one time, progressively, for about 6 months after 3 years of purchase. Be careful when you purchase these drives, ladies and gentlemen. You may want to consider conventional hard drives as the best option available to you. But look, if you know more about this than I do, visit us at windows7forums.com and tell us what you think about solid-state hard drives. I'd love to hear your ideas about it. Certainly, I have gone through hell in trying to get these drives dealt with. And this man, Stephen Rushton, showed the professionalism that made Crucial a great memory seller throughout the 90s and throughout the 2000s, or the zeros, as you might call them. And now that Crucial has gone into the sale of solid-state drives, I do not regret my purchase of these drives, but I will probably end up selling the drives when I get them back refurbished. As I said to Steven, if you see anyone on eBay selling hard drives with a 1 cent minimum sale, that will probably be me. I will be selling these drives refurbished, and I will likely be reselling other drives that I no longer need. And I will be returning the drive that this video was made on and going back to using conventional hard drives. I think the best thing about solid-state hard drives is their use of electricity. Maximum, they use about 10 watts of electricity in comparison to what conventional drives are capable of using. This is a tremendous amount of electrical savings. However, this type of electrical savings doesn't interest me much if I put my computer into standby mode or turn it off at night. Ultimately, I use these drives for work. I bought them for reliability, but after 3 years, I found that I was nearly buying a new computer for $1,000 when I needed to get a replacement. The price of solid-state drives simply has not come down over the years, and I am no longer an advocate of the purchase or use of solid-state drives necessarily. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Although I am unable to give you concrete answers, I am able to allude to some of the causes and the experience that you will have if your solid-state drives begin to fail. Thanks again for listening. This has been Mike Farah from Windows7Forums.com. Also check us out at Windows8Forums.com. Hope to see you and hear from you soon. Even drop a comment in the comment box under this video. We'd be happy to hear from you. Take care.
A Windows 7 Forums video production. Visit us at Windows7Forums.com.